Hey there, friend. Welcome to the Product to Paycheck podcast. I'm your host, Sierra, an inventory, profit, and cash flow expert. I'm here to help you with all things money related in your product-based business. Why are you working for free? I want you to take a paycheck, and we can do that with some bite-sized, actionable steps. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to our mini session here. Today we are going to be talking about inventory and what you need to know when it comes to your inventory. There's just different pieces of the puzzle when we look at the inventory puzzle, and today we're going to break down some things that I want you to start focusing on when it comes to your inventory. So I am your host today. My name is Sierra Stockland. I'm the founder of the Boutique Workshop and the Profitory Mastermind, a mastermind for high-level boutique owners ready to invest and understand their inventory and scale with profit. And today we're going to be talking about all things inventory related. So here we go. All right. So there's some things that I want you to think about when it comes to your inventory. Number one, remember to think about your inventory as cash on hangers and cash in boxes. Your inventory is really your biggest asset in your boutique business. Your inventory should be treated like cash. And so often we don't treat our inventory like cash. We treat our inventory like pretty things that we get to sell, fun things that we get to buy, items in our store that we get to merchandise, stuff that we get to talk about, right? But inventory needs to be treated like cash. Every time you exchange a dollar bill for a piece of inventory and you bring that on in, that inventory is worth money until you turn it or until you sell it and send it on its way. And we would not have cash laying around in our homes, in our offices, in our warehouse, old cash, crumpled up cash that we never counted. No, we would never do that, but we so often do that with our inventory. So when we start to think about our inventory as cash, it does a couple things for us. First of all, it prioritizes how we steward that inventory. We are called to be good stewards of our business, and the majority of what we own in our business is inventory. That is our biggest asset as retailers. And so we need to be a good steward of that inventory. So understanding that our inventory is like cash will help us become a better steward of that inventory. And what does being a good steward mean? Well, it means that we manage and we track that inventory. So let's talk about some things we need to know when it comes to managing and tracking inventory. So thinking about our inventory as cash, understanding our inventory is our biggest asset. Your inventory needs to show up then on your balance sheet. Because it's your biggest asset, your inventory needs to show up on your balance sheet. So why do we care about this? Why does it even matter? Sierra, I just want to buy things. I want to sell things. I want to help women feel beautiful. I want to decorate homes. I want to dress little kids. I want women to buy for their men. I want to sell shoes and handbags. That's all fine and dandy. And absolutely, we want to do the art side of our business, but we want to focus on the scientific side of our business as well. And understanding our inventory will help us focus on the scientific side of our business, which ultimately drives profit and helps us build and grow in a sustainable way. So understanding our inventory is an asset. We want it to show up on our balance sheet. So a balance sheet is going to show you two things. It's going to show you all your assets, how much cash you have in savings and checking, how much inventory you own, if you own any furniture, fixture, equipment, things like that. And it's going to show your liabilities. So any debts that you have to pay, right? So it's going to show your assets and your liabilities. You want your inventory to show up on your balance sheet because if you go to sell your business, if you need to get a loan from the bank for your business, if you just want to know what your biggest asset is worth, it needs to show up on the balance sheet. So that starts by recording the cost of your inventory every time you receive it. So when you receive a box in the mail, when you receive a shipment, when you receive a pallet of shoes, whatever you receive for inventory, you need to count that inventory against the purchase order, and you need to enter that inventory with the cost of what you paid for it. It can then show up on the balance sheet as your asset. So show up on the balance sheet, enter that inventory with costs. The next thing that you want to think about is taking a physical inventory, periodically. So I love to suggest a monthly inventory. I know that makes a lot of people like, oh, I can't, I don't have the time for it. I don't even know how I would get that under control. If we could start with just a physical inventory, maybe twice a year, that would be a great start. Maybe a quarterly physical inventory. Remember, it's cash. We need to count it. We need to know what we own. And then if you can at least spot check your inventory every month. So you're just going to take 1 or 2 categories, count it against what you have in your point of sale system, make sure it's accurate, make any adjustments, and then move on. So understanding your inventory is like cash, putting it on your balance sheet as your biggest asset, receiving it properly with its costs, counting your inventory by taking a physical inventory on a schedule, monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, annually. And then the last thing I want you to think about when it comes to your inventory is managing the damages, the misships, the shipments that didn't come accurately, right? That's cash that you paid for something and you don't have the asset for it. So if you receive a box or a shipment and you have damages, you need to immediately contact the vendor and see if you can get a credit or a refund, if you can send that inventory back. If customers bring damaged inventory back into your store, make sure that you're accounting for that and that you're properly giving that documentation to your bookkeeper or accountant so they can make those adjustments. So if you have to throw that inventory away because it's damaged, or if you need to donate it, that you account for that. That is an asset. That's like cash, and you need to make those accountant journal entries for that. So have your bookkeeper or accountant do that for you. Okay. Inventory is cash. It's your biggest asset. Treat it like that. Put it on your balance sheet. Receive your inventory with its costs. Make sure that you're doing a physical inventory count consistently, and then make sure that you're accounting for damages, losses, return inventory, short ships, and things like that, so that you're not outlaying cash without the asset to show for it. And today we're going to be talking about Profit First. So just hang tight. Let's connect for a little while here. I'll give you some tips. So as I mentioned in the introduction, I am a Profit First certified coach, which means I went through all the Profit First training and I am certified in the Profit First method. Now, what makes it really interesting with the way that I coach is that I bring inventory into the Profit First equation. So you may have been a little bit nervous about implementing Profit First. Maybe you read the book and it confused you. Maybe you've set up your accounts and you tried to set up Profit First and you just never could stick with it. A lot of times this comes because we don't understand how the inventory works its way in and out of the Profit First method. So I am here as a Profit First certified coach to help you implement Profit First in your business, to be consistent with it, to make sure that it gives you a paycheck, and to understand how you can use your inventory in a way that builds profit in your Profit First system. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit today. I just want to give you the fundamentals of Profit First and how I coach my clients on the Profit First method. So first of all, it's important to know that Profit First is a cash management system. Profit First is not an accounting system. You have your wonderful bookkeepers and accountants that can help you with that. You have your financials, your profit and loss statement, your balance sheet, your cash flow if you receive it. Those are your financials. That's accounting. It's purposeful, it's needed, and we're not going to be changing that. Profit First is a way to manage the cash in your business. It's a way to ensure that you're always taken care of and paid first, that you're saving for a rainy day, that you always have cash and money for inventory. Speaking of inventory, I want to talk to you about how I use Profit First with my coaching clients. So if you guys know anything about Profit First, it's similar to an envelope system. So you're going to have multiple accounts set up and you're going to pull profit first and divvy that up. Parkinson's law tells us that whatever is in front of us, we're going to consume. If we have a massive piece of pie in front of us, most likely we're going to eat the whole piece. If we make the plate smaller and we have less of a piece of pie, we're going to eat less pie. If we have a smaller bowl for our ice cream, we're going to eat less ice cream, right? Whatever's in front of us, we will consume. And the same thing happens with our cash. So what happens most often is that as the sales come in, they're all dumped into one big account, right? All the money is dumped into one account. We get super excited. Oh my goodness, I had such an amazing holiday weekend. I had a great pop-up. I had an awesome week of sales. I have all this money in my account, and we go out and we start spending it. We buy inventory, we go to market, we get ourselves a cup of coffee, we hire an extra payroll person. We do all of these things. And before we know it, the cash is drained. We're super stressed and we live on this crazy roller coaster. So with Profit First, we're just going to take that plate and we're going to make it smaller. So instead of one big ginormous plate with all of the cash in front of us, we're going to make a lot of small plates. And so we're going to set up different accounts. Now, if you've read Profit First, or if you listen to it, this is a lot of times where people get stuck. What do I do with my inventory? What is owner's comp? What is profit? How is that different? So let's break them down. The first account I want you to set up is an inventory account. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the cost of goods sold from any period of time we're tracking, and we're going to move that over into our inventory account. This makes sure that we always have money to replace the inventory that just sold. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our real revenue. So you have your sales minus your cost of goods sold, which leaves you with your gross margin, or in Profit First terms, your real revenue. This is the money you actually get to move around. Now, remember, we already moved the cost of goods sold into an inventory account. So we've taken care of our inventory. We're good on that. Now we have our real revenue. We're going to divide that between our profit, our owner's comp, and our tax accounts. So let's break those down. Your owner's comp, that is you. That is making sure that you are taken care of and that you're paid. Okay. The next account is our tax account. This is for profitability of our business. This would be for federal income taxes or federal taxes due at the end of the year. We're going to be saving into this tax account all year long so that when a tax bill comes at the end of the year, we don't have to stress. And then the third account is our profit account. This is never going to be more than 5% of our real revenue. And our profit account is there for a rainy day. It's a savings account. It's an account we can use to start to pay down debt. And ultimately, it's an account that we can use to bonus ourselves as owners. Okay. It's a profit account. It is set there in order to make us profitable and to reward us for the work that we've done going into our business. So we're going to set up our accounts. We're going to start to make weekly transfers consistently. We're going to start small and be consistent, and we're going to use the Profit First method to manage our cash, which will ultimately manage our growth. If you have questions about Profit First, you can always find me hello@sierrastockeland.com, or you can head over to theboutiqueworkshop.com, where I have a free Profit First for Retail masterclass that you can take, where you can dive into Profit First a little more. I have a workbook you can use. I'd love to help you out. I want you to be using Profit First so that you're managing your cash, that you're buying the correct amount of inventory, and that you're always paying yourself. I'll see you guys later. Bye for now. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today on this podcast episode. You know I love hanging out with you on a Tuesday, and you know what I'd love even more is to hang out with you every single day. I'm serious, every day. If you have been listening to this podcast and you're ready to take it a step further, if you'd like just a little bit of help implementing what you've been learning, if you want a quick start to get going on making over your money, or if you'd like a one-on-one tailored approach, I've got you covered. So I want you to head on over to my website, sierrastockeland.com. That's where you're going to see other ways that we can work together. You're going to see how I can help you take what we talk about here on the podcast and implement it to make a difference in your business today. Bite-sized actionable steps, you guys. Bite-sized actionable steps. Let's do it. Head on over to the website, sierrastockeland.com. I cannot wait to meet you there. See you soon. Hey, boutique owner, do you use Square for your point of sale system? If you do, I want you to listen up. This is so exciting. So a lot of times we hear all about the kinds of websites you can make with the other POS system, but we don't hear a lot about Square. Well, Alyssa Tollefson designs beautiful Square websites. That's right. She can fully integrate your Square point of sale system with a beautiful website that will function for you. And the best part is she's a boutique owner herself, so she totally gets it. Her look, her design, it's gorgeous. And not only that, she's really, really good at SEO, which is another important piece to make sure people find your website and shop it. So if you are interested in having Alyssa take a look at what you've got going on with Square, then head on over to AlyssaTollefson.com. That's AlyssaTollefson.com. AlyssaTollefson.com. Take a look at what she can do for your Square point of sale.